Good morning, dear students. Today we will begin with lesson 12, Direct Indirect Speech from English Grammar book. Let's understand what is this chapter all about. Let's see in page number 97. Let's link it. I'm reading the conversation which is being done between a student and a teacher. The student says, "What is the shape of earth?" The teacher replies, "Geeta, earth is round." Again she has a question, "Sir, how many stars are there in the sky?" He replies, "We cannot count the number of stars in the sky." So these are the set of sentences, or you can say these are the dialogues delivered by the two speakers. Okay, so when we narrate something, when we are talking, when we are conversing, that is when we are narrating a story, when we are telling story, or when we are telling something, that is one part, that is a way of communication between two persons. So in English grammar, when we talk, when we report something, or we can say the art of reporting the words of a speaker is called narration in English grammar, or we can also sometimes say it's direct or indirect speech. So students, let's see, when we have to, in the section B, we have to complete the sentences to tell what the teacher told Geeta. The teacher said, because it is written Geeta, earth is round, you can simply write the teacher said the earth is round. Again, in the next sentence, he said we cannot count the stars. Now the conversations in the picture, as you can see in the screen, in the first set, or in these first set of conversations, you can see that is all in the direct speech. The dialogues are the exact words used by Geeta and the teacher. That is, the speakers, that is, they are using they are delivering the exact words. We are not trying to change anything. But in the section B, what we have found, the sentences you completed, what we had completed, they all are in indirect speech to tell us what teacher has told to Geeta. Now students, in English grammar, when we study about this direct and indirect speech, or we also call it as narration. Remember, when you talk, if you want to ask what is narration, then you can simply say art of reporting the words of a speaker is called narration in English grammar, and there are two ways of reporting the words of a speaker. First, that is in direct speech, and secondly in indirect speech. Direct speech is also known as reporting speech, and indirect speech is also known as reported speech. Yes, let's begin with this. In this chapter, you will all learn about direct and indirect speech. Also, you will know how to convert direct speech into indirect speech and vice versa. So, students, we can define now what is a direct speech. Direct speech, it shows the exact words of the speaker, and these words are put within inverted commas. In other words, if you are conveying the activities of somebody in his own words without changing it, then it is known as direct speech, or even we can say reporting speech. When you are reporting without changing the meaning, without changing anything, without changing the speaker's words, it is the exact words without any change, and that becomes the direct speech or the reporting speech. But when you talk about the second type, that is indirect speech, it means we are reporting the words of the speaker without the inverted commas, and we usually use the conjunction that to report what the speaker has said. Means you are using your own words to convey the activity of the speaker to the other person. Thus, we can call it as an indirect speech or reported speech. We can call this indirect speech as reported speech also. Remember students, what is the reporting verb? There, the verb that introduces the reported speech is called the reporting verb. So remember students, You have to learn this in page number 97. It is given here that when you talk about direct speech and indirect speech, there are some basic points to remember. That is, we use inverted commas or quotation marks. You can notice the inverted commas over here in direct speech, that it is given in this example, like Ritu said, inverted commas open. You have to notice whenever we are writing direct speech, there is a comma. You have to put a comma. Ritu said, comma, inverted comma open, I am about to complete my assignment, inverted comma closed. And this is the rule for direct speech. When you are changing it into indirect speech, what you have to do? You have to remove the comma. You have to replace the comma and the inverted commas. Okay, what you need to do? You have to add the word or the conjunction that here. That is, it will become, Ritu said that she was about to complete her assignment. You can notice the quotation marks or the inverted comma has been removed. Instead of that, we are simply adding that. So we do not use quotation marks in indirect speech, and we use the word that in indirect speech to report what the speaker has spoken. Students, let us understand more about the reporting verbs from page number 98 English grammar book. So look at these sentences as mentioned. Ashok said, I am going home. In indirect speech, when it is written as Ashok said that he was going home. Next set of sentences. Ashok said to Anu, I am going home, as it is written in inverted commas in the first set of sentences. You can notice when it is this sentence, Ashok said to Anu, I am going home, which is changed into indirect speech, it becomes Ashok told Anu that he was going home. Students, please note that we use said when the listener is not mentioned in the first set. Ashok said that he was going home, where you can notice the listener is not there, the name of the listener is not mentioned, or it is not implied in the sentence, means there is no part of the listener over here. He is talking to whom, it is not mentioned. But in the second set of sentences, like Ashok told Anu that he was going home, here you can notice the word said to. You can notice this word said to has been changed to told when the listener is mentioned in the sentence. Remember, so whenever we are whenever we are trying to say, if there is no listener in the sentence, is not mentioned, or it is not implied in a sentence, we only use said. But when there is a listener in the sentence, we use this. The word said to is this verb said to is changed into told. So also we can see in these pair of sentences, the highlighted words said and told help us to introduce the reported speech. So they are called as reporting verbs. So students, when these kind of words like said and told, it helps us to introduce the reported speech. So they are known as reporting verbs. They introduces the reported speech. So these are reporting verbs. We can also use reporting verbs like advised, asked, ordered, explained, warned, promised, begged, also refused, depending on the meaning of the particular reported speech. Now there are some more sentences as mentioned. Where are you going? You can see it is written in inverted commas. My friend said to me. So it is understood this is an example of direct speech. When you change into indirect speech, it becomes my friend asked me. Said to me, it becomes, because there are two persons talking together, that means we have to change this into indirect speech. That becomes this asked is your reported. We can say it is in the we can say it is reporting verbs. My friend asked me where I was going. Don't wander away, next sentence, or you will get lost, said grandfather to the children. When you change into indirect speech, it becomes Grandfather warned the children not to wander away or they would get lost. So you can notice if the listener is not implied, then we can simply keep the word as it is, like it is given. We use said when the listener is not mentioned in the sentence, but when a listener is mentioned there in a sentence, you should use said to or told or such other reporting verbs like advised, asked, ordered, explained, suggested, promised, begged, and all. Students, there are certain rules when we change direct speech to indirect speech. We will understand one by one. First thing, what I wanted to inform you about the change of pronoun in reported speech. First person pronouns in indirect speech changes according to the subject of the reporting verb in reported speech. Look at the table given. I will take only two examples as he said I am ready. Here you can notice first person pronoun in the indirect speech change according to the subject of the reporting verb. So example as he said I am ready, which is in direct speech, it becomes he said that he was ready. Look at the table to understand how first person pronouns change into reported speech. Change to reported speech. Second example, I said I am ready. When you change, it becomes I said that I was ready. When you talk about second person pronouns in direct speech, it changes according to the object of the reporting verb in indirect speech. Like he said to me, you are early. It is an example of direct speech. You can notice the object here as me, and when you change it indirect to indirect speech, it becomes he told me that I was early. You can notice the second person pronoun in direct speech, it changes according to the object of the reporting verb in indirect speech. When you talk about the third person pronoun in direct speech usually do not change in indirect speech. Read the table as he said she is early, which is written in direct speech. When you change it in indirect speech, it becomes he said that she was early. Means you are not changing anything in that. Third person pronouns in direct speech usually do not change in indirect speech. He said she is early. He said that she was early. She said they are early. When you change it, it becomes she said that they were early. Students, this is one of the ways how you will change the pronouns in reported speech. There are more certain rules when we change direct speech to indirect speech, like for in changing we can say in change in tense. Also we have changes in interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence, even in declarative sentences. I will take up some more rules of change in reported speech in the next video. Revise the chapter carefully, go through the video. Thank you, class.